It was Christmas Eve in Chicago, bitter cold winds slicing through scarves, but the streets were lit like a fairy tale. I had just picked up my daughter Ava from school, and we were walking past the plaza near Ashland Avenue, where the city hangs wreaths on every lamppost. She was bundled in a red coat, too big for her 5-year-old frame reindeer hat slipping over one eye. Then she stopped cold. "Daddy, why is that lady eating from the trash?" I looked over and saw her young, maybe late 20s, wearing a tattered gray coat, carefully unwrapping a sandwich she'd just pulled from a bin. Not like someone desperate, like someone holding on to dignity by a thread. She brushed crumbs off the bread and tore it in half, handing the bigger piece to a little boy sitting nearby. Before I could say anything, a security guard from the steakhouse across the street stormed over. "Hey, I told you before, get the hell out of here. You're stinking up the sidewalk." People turned. A dad yanked his son away. A couple whispered like they were watching a street performance. The woman stood calm but worn. She stepped in front of the boy and said, steady as steel, "Don't talk to me like that in front of a child." The guard's sneered eyes scanning her coat like it was proof of everything wrong. "Your kind belongs in a shelter. What are you even feeding that kid leftovers from rats that hit?" She flinched. Just once. Her fists balled, and I swear if she hadn't been holding back tears, she might have spit fire. "I'm just trying to feed him," she whispered. That was enough. I stepped in. "That's enough," I said, sharp, clear. "Back off." The guard turned, saw me, and froze. "Mr. Carson, I didn't realize I don't care who you thought she was. You don't scream at people like that, especially not in front of kids." He stammered something about doing his job. "You're done here," I said. "Walk away." He left, muttering under his breath. The woman didn't move. She stood like someone used to being ignored, then punished the moment she spoke. But Ava, she stepped right up to her and held out a candy cane. "You can have mine," she said. "Daddy says I make 'em too sweet anyway." That cracked the woman's face into a tired, beautiful smile. "Thank you, sweetheart." I was about to ask her name when the doors to the restaurant flung open and out walked this woman in stilettos and a coat that probably cost more than a used car. "Well, well," she said, voice dripping fake sugar. "Brielle Mendez. Still dumpster diving, are we?" The woman stiffened. "Didn't expect to see you tonight, Fiona." "Oh, I work here now," Fiona said, motioning behind her. "After your little empire collapsed, someone had to class the place up." I could feel the tension rising like a storm about to break. "Still carrying that notebook?" Fiona sneered. "Recipes or reminders of failure?" "Better to write what's real," Brielle snapped, "than steal and lie like you did." I stepped between them. "That's enough." Fiona turned to me. "And who are you?" "Another rich boy taken in by the sob story. I'm the man who pays more in taxes than your whole career's worth," I said. "And you're trespassing on my patience. Leave." She blinked, then hissed something under her breath and disappeared back inside. I turned to Brielle. "She was your colleague. She was my sous chef," Brielle said, bitterness thick. "Until she stole my recipes and got my license pulled. She let the media bury me." I blinked. "Wait, you had a restaurant." "I had a life," she said softly. "My name was on the window. I hired women fresh out of shelters. I gave people a second chance. Then I got stabbed in the back and left to rot." Her voice cracked just for a second. Something about her, it reminded me of my late wife, Elle. Elle used to say, "Food isn't just for bellies, Noah, it's how we feed souls." Ava tugged my coat again. "Can she come home with us?" "Just for dinner." I hesitated. Every logical instinct screamed, no, she was a stranger. But I looked at her again, and I didn't see a stranger. I saw a woman clinging to dignity with both hands despite every reason to let go. "One meal," I said, "if you want." Back home, I expected her to be timid, unsure. Instead, she moved through my kitchen like she owned it. Chopped, blended, stirred like her hands remembered a life her heart was still grieving. "What are you making?" I asked. "Sweet potato braise," she said. "Southern spice." It was our bestseller. I froze. That dish. Elle had tried to recreate it for years and never quite nailed it. But this was it. My wife, I said quietly. She used to make this. Brielle looked up. Was her name Elle? I nodded. She came to my restaurant. A lot. Said food helped her speak love. I taught her this dish. I couldn't speak. I just sat there, fork in hand, heart pounding with every bite. Elle had never told me who taught her until now. And Brielle, she wasn't a beggar. She was the last link to someone I'd lost. I looked at her and said, I want to invest in you. Bring your restaurant back. She stared. I don't want pity. This isn't pity, I said. It's legacy. That dish, my wife's favorite, it deserves a home. You do too. She studied me. You want control? No. You run the kitchen. I'll help with structure. We build it together. She was quiet for a long time. Then, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to have someone in the kitchen who's not afraid of fire. I smiled. For the first time in years, so did she. But peace never lasts. The next morning, the tabloids exploded. Photos of us in the snow. Headlines. Billionaire shelters homeless woman. Comments calling her a gold digger, a con. Ava saw it and cried. Why are they saying bad things about Miss Brielle? Because people fear what they don't understand, Brielle whispered. But I wasn't backing down. I told her, we take back the story. We don't let them write your ending. We worked. Late nights, early mornings. And then one blow too far. Fiona leaked fake financials accusing Brielle of stealing funds. I hired investigators. We dug. And we found everything. Shell charities, missing donations, lies stacked like dishes. At the next press conference, Brielle stood beside me holding her notebook. This isn't just about me, she said. This is for everyone Fiona used and discarded. For every woman she stepped on to climb. I'm not flawless, but I refuse to be erased. The crowd erupted. The narrative cracked. Fiona went silent. And Brielle. She opened a new place, the Hearth. Not flashy, not exclusive, just warm, real. The night we opened, Ava ran to the kitchen in her tiny apron. Miss Brielle, I want to cook like you. And Mommy. Brielle knelt down and whispered, then I'll teach you, little flame. That night, as music filled the air and plates clattered with laughter, I looked around and realized this wasn't just a comeback. It was redemption. And the woman they all tried to bury, she became the fire they couldn't put out. So tell me, who decides who deserves a second chance? Is it wealth headlines, or is it heart? Drop your thoughts below. Have you ever seen someone rise from ashes and prove the world wrong? Let's talk.